Greetings, chat, and welcome. Seems that it worked. Yesterday, I asked you guys to set your clocks to this hour, right? If you want to watch my live stream every day. I don't rely on YouTube because I am sick and tired of hearing a lot of people saying, well, V, you were live and I didn't get a notification. And so, those of you that want to catch me live, you can set your clock to this hour, and every single day on the clock, except for probably Tuesday, I will try to stream regularly exactly at 9:30 p.m. Romanian time. And so, we're going to be talking today about what happened, because it's very interesting. If anyone would have told you, would you believe that in 2025, right-wingers are going to lead the cancel culture, and they're going to be morally justified? What would you say? Because, to be honest, it took me a little bit by surprise. Seeing Jeremy the Quartering going, no more nice Jeremy. From now on, I asked for cancellations. And he wanted, I think, Hassan and Destiny being canceled. Taking out the competition, Jeremy. You savvy little capitalist. Using a little morality to tear down the other political commentators so that they will be forced to watch you. It was hilarious, especially the way he shilled it, very cringe. But I do understand where the sentiment is coming from. And we also, what else did we get? We got Czech Ugor. Czech Ugor is on our side now. Sargon calls it the redemption of Cenk. To be fair, I don't know, like, if Cenk and Anna are right-wing, but I think, like, something must have happened. I don't know if it's because they noticed that the viewership isn't there anymore, or if they got sponsorship from a right-wing organization, because it's possible that right-wingers woke up and went like, okay, you know what? Maybe politics is actually financed, and if we want to spread our message, we actually have to pay for social media, tech companies, and people like the Young Turks to promote us. So maybe there's something like that. Maybe they didn't realize that they don't have subscribers. Or maybe, right, like genuinely, shit got so bad that it started affecting them. Anna does have a compelling story when it comes to that. Apparently, she was walking on the street, and a homeless person sexually assaulted her. And she said that she was never so afraid. And then she realized that a lot of the policies that were supporting her led to that moment. And at that point, she's like, okay, this is a bad thing. I don't like getting sexually assaulted on the street and no man coming to my help. And so she changed her ideology. At least that's her story. That's what she claims. And it's also the fact that she believes that the government has no right to tell her to give away her gas stove, right? Like, no, you give me, so I give you to give me the money. Give the money. Like, she was very upset financially over the fact that the government wants her to get an electric stove. And so, yeah, they're right-wing. Now, someone in the chat said it's survival, right? They're adapting to the political climate shift. I don't think so, because, like, here's the thing, right? If you're actually doing this for a long time, you notice, like, there are time periods when right-wingers are dominating the culture, and there are time periods when left-wing people are dominating the culture. If you want to be an institution or a news media that goes long-term, you can't just flip-flop all the time, right? And so, sure, right, like, if you're a leftist, now it's a bad time to be a leftist. Like, it used to be a bad time to be a right-winger. It is what it is. But you gotta be consistent, right? So, very rarely do you see people do a flop like this. Like, they're left-leaning and then they become right-wing. Although, I would say that the, what was it? The Young Turks were actually pretty liberal at the beginning, as in, the fun guys, you know? Like, they would play video games, they would play games like Guess Whose Camel Toe Is This? They were for free speech. They weren't moralizing at all. Like, they were genuinely, you know, a couple of dudes that were providing good entertainment. And then they became, like, hyper-moralistic. Then they became hyper-woke. And now, apparently, they're trying to become the voice of reason of the right wing. Now they got their own audience, right? Like it's not that they're getting into some of the right wing audience, right? Like they got their own people that they pander to. So we'll see. Anyway, right, let's look at the quartering a little bit. Apparently, we don't get the nice quartering anymore. We get Evil Jeremy. Let me see where that is. Man, like the way he does his thumbnail. You know, like I'll tell you something as a YouTuber, right? You're looking at these thumbnails and you're thinking, wow, they're so bad, right? Like you have the quartering taking a picture of himself, right? Usually with his mouth open. And then like 2 words, massive bombshell, this changes everything, he confessed. And then a picture of the stuff that he is talking about. Now when you see this, you're thinking, wow, these are such shitty thumbnails, right? But then you realize 373,000 views, 500,000 views, right? And so you understand that, no, this is how the thumbnail should be. Right? Like, you don't look at something that's working, like, objectively, physically, right? And people say, well, the quartering is boring. Well, I'm sure he is, but like 500,000 views, right? Like, yeah, but morally, I don't fucking care. Do you want to sell your video or not, right? This is the package. This is what people want to see. Let's see if I can find the one where he was complaining about the no, sorry, not complaining. He was basically making a statement that we're not going to see any more nice Jeremy. So I assume that from now on we're going to see evil Jeremy. Cause all right, this changes everything. This is what he says. So let's listen to it. As soon as the commercials pass. There's a lot of commercials. All right.
That can never be unwrung. This country will never be the same. I will never be the same.
He will never be the same. See, this is why I became a VTuber. I don't like wobbling my head left and right. Like, I watch my own videos and I do the same thing. And so, I just decided, no, I'm going to have a troll face from now on.
I am wholly committed now. I am hardened. I am resolved. And I know I'm...
we're going to see hardcore Jeremy. We're going to see the man of steel that has been hardened and has been resolved by what transpired.
Not the only one. There can no longer be any denial that our universities, our education system has a deep-rooted radicalization network that works.
I don't know why he talks like this, because I used to talk to him, and he wasn't talking like this, and he's looking everywhere like he has like 4 scripts, one on the left, one on the right, and one in the middle. I haven't followed this channel in ages, just so you know. Jeremy will never be the same. Is the beard? Right? No quarter, no forgiveness. Yeah.
Out in the open and is extremely effective in radicalizing weak minds with communist, socialist ideology.
I think what's happening here, like the reason he's looking at this, you know, like talking like this, is because he's wondering, what am I allowed to say? Because if I say the wrong thing, right, like this is a borderline dangerous video, and I don't want YouTube to punish me, so I need to choose my words very carefully as I tell you how I'm going to become a bad man, and no more of Mr. Nice Jeremy.
We have a system with mainstream media whose sole purpose is to dehumanize their enemies. They work hand in glove. The glove dehumanizes. The glove makes their targets seem subhuman, seem like it's okay to take their life. It's okay to try and burn down their house like they did to Josh Shapiro. It's okay to burn down somebody's Tesla because they bought a car from a guy you didn't like. That's the media. That's the glove. And the hand that goes in it, that's the deranged lunatics that are being churned out by our education system and by mainstream media.
That was such a wonderful piece of philosophy. See, like Carl Benjamin went to philosophy university. He can't make this shit, you know? Like, Carl is like, oh, the longhouse, the mooner rays coming with their feminist energy, using with their tits and pussy, tearing all the man's testosterone away. But then you have Jeremy, and it's like, the glove dehumanizes, the glove reduces to nobody. And then the hand is the Antifa, the work of the university professors that are slaving over a hot catheter and making sure that all the students are unhinged. And the glove in the hand has destroyed all of us. See, like, at least this is like a powerful metaphor, right? Like, a glove in a hand, I understand it, the fist that wants to beat the living shit out of me like that transgender left-wing beat Jeremy for an untold sums of money because they settled that they didn't go to the final court. But like Sargon, the longhouse. Like, motherfucker, I love the longhouse. What's wrong with you? Oh, the lunar energy. I like the moon. It's fucking romantic. Oh, feminine. I like women, Sargon. Like, stop selling this shit to me, right? Look at Jeremy. Like, Jeremy is scaring me. The glove and the hand. Like, boom. But anyway, this is the crescendo, right? Like, right now it's 1 and 29 minutes in. He explained the problem, and now he is giving the solution.
I am off the fence.
Boogie has been abandoned. If you look at the fence, you see only immigrants and Boogie. Jeremy is not on the fence anymore.
I want every university who harbors these types of teachers, and you know the ones I want them fired. Gone.
Jeremy wants the university that harbors these lunatics to be fired. Gone.
Elementary, middle, high school, colleges, gone. Fired.
But like, then you don't have any more teachers, Jeremy. Like, it's that one or two. It's almost all of them. Yeah. No, I get it. Like, he has a point, but like, all right, but like, what's the plan of action? How do we accomplish this? I mean, don't get me wrong, nice sentiments and all, but like, I'm not going to have any more schools in America, I'm just saying.
We cannot tolerate communist ideology in our schools, period. You post-commie crap.
But like, what about the commies? Because that's the point, you know, like, the commies are the part of we. Like, when you say we cannot tolerate, like, does that include the communists? Like, the communists cannot tolerate other communists in their schools? Yeah, no, seriously, this is another problem. A lot of people are on Twitter, and they're thinking that Twitter is reality, but they forget the fact that, no, listen, half of your nation is communistic at this point, right? Like, half of the people are also communists. It's not like we, like, 90% of Americans are anti-communists, and it's like only 2% are communists. No. They're in your schools, they're in your institutions, they're in your Senate. Like, they may even win elections. I'm just saying, you know, it's not so easy. It's not so simple.
Crap on your Facebook outside of school, don't care, you're fired. Period. And every parent should be vigilant and be testing, watching every teacher at their school and be reporting them and demanding they be fired. Every university professor who espouses these ideas.
To be fair, it's not like I disagree with him, but the problem is that it doesn't work. And the reason I'm saying this, like, we already went through a moral panic about misogyny, right? Are misogynists gone? No. They went through a moral panic against racism. Are racists gone? No. I'm not disagreeing with what he's saying, you know? Like, sure, I mean, we can have a new Red Scare. That's fine. In fact, I would celebrate it. There's a lot of people that I don't like. I don't think it's a solution to the problem, though. That's the unfortunate part, right? Because, like, it has been done before. And it has been done before. Like, you can't really kill an idea. That's the main issue. You can't kill an idea. If an idea exists, it exists. Sure, you can go after some people and you can feel good about it. And I agree with Jeremy. Like, yeah, sure, it feels nice when you see, like, a smug DC writer that was, like, constantly insulting their fans and finally getting fired because they're a disgusting person. No, I agree. Sure. But like, all of this has been done before.
ideologies, who have their stupid hammer and sickle tattoos, who have their, their anti-fascist t-shirts, gone, fired. I want...
The solution is to defund them. That's the solution, by the way. If people are curious, like, what do? Defund them. They get money from the government. Every single one of them is paid by the taxpayer. The welfare state, the government bloat. That's the issue. That's where they get money, right? They tax you. They like Jeremy makes these videos, gets like 500,000 views, makes a lot of money, pays taxes. The taxes go to fund the people he complains about. Do you want to know how I know? Do you guys remember when Donald Trump was actually, I think it was in 2019, right? Like he was getting ready for his second term. And there were a lot of protests, especially like Antifa protests. The streets were burning. Do you guys remember that? And then the government goes into a shutdown. It happens in America. Every now and then they go into a shutdown. And what happens when they go into a shutdown? All of a sudden the protests just, for a couple of months, they go away. No more protests for a couple of months. Interesting. Isn't that like muy fascinante? Why does Jeremy keep complaining about being broke? I don't know how he's handling his business, right? Like, just because he makes a lot of money, doesn't like money comes in, I can see that. I don't know where money goes out, right? So, like, if he has a big staff behind the scenes, well, that's one expense. If he rented a studio or something, that's another expense. If he has a mortgage or some shit, right? So, like, theoretically, in my opinion, like, his channel, which is like the quartering, not the live stream or anything else, should be able to make him quite a pretty penny. Like, he shouldn't be complaining about not having cash. I don't know, like, what business expenses and why he's got like 6 or 7 cars and he's paying mortgages, he's paying loans for them. Well, as more and more information comes out about this jerk, I'm starting to think that the only thing straight in his life was the pew-pew he took at Charlie Kirk. Oh my god. Kerno. Jesus. I can see what you mean. My free speech principle is that commies don't get to have free speech. I always abide by my principle. The principle that I have is very simple. I'm still for free speech and freedom of expression until you decide that someone should get banned. Like, if you say someone should get banned, I don't care if you're a right-winger, left-winger, apolitical person, individual from the Congo. The moment ban and censorship comes out of your mouth, you're a legitimate target. The only exception is people that want to ban someone else. So, like, if someone goes after Hassan Piker and gets him banned, I'm fine with that, because Hassan Piker has demanded other people get banned. Right? It's literally that simple. Like, the only acceptable targets, in my mind, are the people that require censorship. Yeah, censoring the censor so that other people can speak, I think is the same like self-defense. Right? Like, in the real world, we say that violence is not the answer. With the exception of self-defense. If someone attacks you, you have the right to defend yourself. I think it's the same with free speech. So, like, I don't care if it's a commie and he never advocates for someone else getting the platform. I personally, and this is my view, right? I can't impose it on others. But from my morality, from my perspective, I have nothing against that guy. You know, let him communism, because at the end of the day, I know that his ideology is shit, my ideology is correct. He's never going to win a crowd against me, right? But if it's a communist and he wants people censored, he wants people banned, then he's a legitimate target. That's my take. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to win. I don't think I'm going to persuade people. We're not going to go back to the time of the early 2010s when people could say and do whatever the fuck they wanted. It's going to get really bad. And I'll tell you how it's going to get really bad. And this is my prediction. A lot of people will hate it. But feel free to bookmark me and watch this video again in 5 years, and you'll see if I was right or not. I think that right-wingers are going to take over cancel culture, and they're justified. I'm not saying that I don't understand, and I'm not saying that they shouldn't. But they're going to take over cancel culture. They're going to be very successful at it. They're going to be addicted to it. And they're going to also start censoring people that have nothing to do with it. And what I mean is that they're going to start censoring people that weren't involved in the cultural world. They're going to start censoring artists. They're going to start censoring musicians. They're going to start censoring the average guy that has no interest in this fight. And then eventually the left is going to win elections because, like, it always happens, right? Like, maybe you'll have like 4 more years of J.D. Vance, maybe 8 years of J.D. Vance, but there will be a time when the left is going to win. And when the left is going to win, the same resentment, the same hatred and disgust that we now have towards the woke, they will have towards us. And it's just going to repeat itself. Because that's pretty much what happened during the Bush era, right? Like during the Bush era, the right-wingers were called the fun police because they went after a lot of trivial shit that they should have left alone. And it had brought no political benefit to go after heavy metal, to go after anime, to go after video games, to go after board games. Literally no political benefit, but it's a nice target because politicians get to pretend to do something about actual problems while not doing much. You know, you have gangs on your street. Oh, you target the video games because they're low-hanging fruit, and all of a sudden, parents think that you're actually doing something in order to save their kids. But you're also pissing off the kids, right? Like the young generation thinks you're disconnected, thinks you're mental, thinks you're unhinged, and so they end up voting for Obama. And then Obama does the same shit. Not him personally. The left has a different way of censoring. They subverted video games. They subverted social media. They subverted companies and institutions. It's also due to the fact that right-wingers weren't interested in subverting. They were interested in banning, right? They didn't try to understand. And so when the right-wingers started complaining, there was no tolerance. Because people say, oh, it's because we were tolerant with the woke. No, right-wingers were never tolerant with the woke. They just got banned. Right? Like, if you weren't quote-unquote tolerant, if you didn't shut the fuck up, you just get your account back. And so that's when you have, like, the rise of the woke ideology, which, again, they overreached. There was no political benefit for them to go into sports, to go into video games, to go into comic books, to go into the entertainment. And so they pissed off an entire generation that's against them. And now we're here. And I'm pretty sure, like, this generation is going to piss off the next. And it's kind of more like a wheel. It's kind of more like a circular timeline rather than this is how it starts and this is how it ends. So Charlie was the dam holding back the right-wing extremists. Now they're probably been unleashed. Hope it will take the form of state force against the left instead of vigilantism. Okay, I told this to a leftist. I think I scared him a little bit. I heard it in his voice. We were talking about Charlie Kirk, and he was against Charlie. He really hated Charlie. Because Charlie is against the LGBT movement, right? And the left, like, used the talking point. It's like, well, if you're against the right of people to exist, it doesn't surprise me that someone is going to pick up the gun. And I'm like, okay. I'm not arguing about morality. Like, you can't reach these people past the buzzwords, right? Like, if this is the doctrine, this is the orthodoxy, like, I was having a 1v1 chat, so, like, it's not like I'm going to impress him by showing him morality. No, I framed it differently. It's like, okay, so why do you think Charlie Kirk is worse than, I don't know, Fuentes? And it's like, well, because Fuentes isn't that popular. You know, that's a good point, right? Like, Charlie Kirk was more popular than Fuentes. But then my follow-up question was, okay, so Charlie Kirk had 1 million subscribers, right? Where do you think they're going to go now that he's gone? Do you think they're going to go and watch Destiny? And that's the question that scared them, because you're right. When you say that this is going to radicalize the right wing, well, yeah, like every single one of the subscribers from Charlie Kirk are very upset right now, and they're going to watch other people. And they're not going to watch Destiny, right? They're not going to watch Vosh. Probably going to watch Matt Walsh, which I know, like, left-wingers hate with a passion. They're going to watch Fuentes. Going to watch what's his name? Andrew Tate, right? That's what they're going to watch. That's where the audience is going to go. It's not going to go to the left. Now, what exactly does it mean for right-wingers to be extremists? I don't think, like, right-wingers are going to do violence, because it's not their MO. At least not from what I'm seeing in the culture. I'm not saying that it's never going to happen, because it used to happen in the past, but we're not there yet. I think, like, what you're going to see is right-wingers engaging in cancel culture, preventing leftists from getting a job if a right-winger has a say in it, preventing leftists from getting promotions if they can. That's what you're going to see. I'm not saying it's right or not. I'm just saying what's going to happen. Because I'm seeing it already. And we already were seeing it. And also when Donald Trump does something, Right-wingers will just say, yeah, I don't fucking care. And we already saw that last week, right? The United States blew up a Venezuelan ship where they're claiming that there was drug trafficking going on. Now, usually, if this happened in 2018, I guarantee to you, like, first of all, right-wingers would be upset because it's like, well, hold on a little bit. Like, Donald Trump is the president that ran on a non-intervention platform. Why is he bringing us into more wars? They would be distrustful of the government. They would say, well, hold on a little bit. Like, how do you know that they were actual drug dealers there? Like, what if they weren't? What if you're wrong? You know, like, we should take your word for it. That's what they would have said in 2018. What they said now is that they don't give a fuck, right? And so you had J.D. Vance, the vice president, being interrogated by an inquisitor from the media and saying it's like, oh, well, don't you think that it's a war crime to do that? Because they should get due process. And J.D. Vance said, I don't give a shit how you call it. And that's like how right-wingers being radicalized look like. They're not going to hold the politician to account. They're literally going to go by, like, if it pisses off the left, that is the moral thing to do. Which is interesting because that's how the woke started, right? Like, the woke, they hated the boomers. And there was like, if it pisses off the boomers, is the right thing to do. And this is not new for American politics. It always happens, right? Like, the hippie movement was the same. If it pisses off our parents, it's the right thing to do. The people in the Bush era were the same. If it pisses off the hippies, is the right thing to do. I guess it's a little bit more visible now that it's got social media and it's a little bit more fast. Because like usually these things would take an entire generation. Now it's taking like 10 or 20 years to go from A to B. With a little bit differences, of course. I've also been hardened, but I've also been playing Decay says Bot World's bad. You guys should play Decay. I don't know how you're still playing it, though, because I kind of finished it. Jesus Christ, SRC Maker, holy shit. Red Super Chat, $50. What we talking about, V? My cousin just called me to bitch about me being trans and my relationship with my family and all of this political shit going on. Catch up later. Here's my support for the stream. It is kind of sad. Like, chat, I'm not going to lie. I do have, like, some trans supporters that were here since I started my channel. And you guys know that the reason I started my channel wasn't because of left-wing, right-wing things. It was simply because of being against censorship. Like, I've started my channel in 2016. I was against censorship. 2025, I'm still against censorship. I only changed my policy. It's like the only people that should be censored are people that request others to be banned. For any reason whatsoever, I don't give a shit. But other than that, I'm the same, right? So, like, I never cared if I have subscribers that are left-wing, right-wing, trans, gay, whatever. As long as they're not thinking that I'm appealing, handsome, and they want to do the cushy with me. And so, you know, like, seeing old-time subscribers getting in trouble with their family, despite the fact that they voted for Trump and had the MAGA hat, and, like, I know that they don't care if someone misgenders them or anything like that. The whole reason they're in this shit is because the activists fucked them over. And I've been saying that the activists will fuck them over, which is probably why they were donating to my channel to begin with. It is kind of sad, but, like, what can you do? If it was up to me, none of this would have happened. K-Bar Barbecue, the man from Texas, thank you for $50. Holy shit, I'm getting rich today. What you say is completely true. America is the world hegemon. We are descendants from Puritans. We see things in a sense of conquering and not cooperating. Our grandchildren will go through what we are going through. Yeah. No, it's non-stop. Now, I'll tell you what the problem with puritanical things is. It's the evangelical religion. For those of you who don't know, back in the time of back in medieval time, the church held their mass in Latin, right? So like most people that would go to church had no idea about what's being discussed there. That they may have had like some vague senses about Jesus, but like they generally didn't know the Bible, right? Imagine going to church and the priest chants in Latin. You don't really get it, and so you have the schism. And a new movement, which basically says, okay, well, the church is wrong. We're not going to do what the church does. And we're just going to translate the Bible. The person who did that, I think, like, they were burned, like their corpse got burned. They unburied him and they burned him. They really hated the guy. But anyway, right, so they translated the Bible. And they gave it to the masses. And they created the Protestant movement, right? Now, the thing is, by separating from the church, wasn't necessarily a bad thing, right? Because like the church at that point was more than just like a place of worship. It was an entire bureaucratic system. It was kind of like the university, the academia, the mainstream media, the morality police, and of course the place of worship. And so they would demand taxes, like you actually had to pay for the church even if you like it or not. Whatever, big conversation. But the thing that the church also had, and it still has today, is tradition, right? Like this is why Eastern Europe is stable religiously, while Western Europe is failing religiously. Is the traditional aspect, right? So like tradition means if something has worked up until now, even if it's bad, maybe we shouldn't fuck with it. Like if something has worked for like 20 or 30 years, just leave it there. It doesn't matter if it's good, if it's bad, just leave it there. The West doesn't do that. Like the West is on a constant purity crusade to make everything holy, to turn the nation into a monastery if possible, right? What I mean by this? Well, you get to see it on Twitter. You have people like, what, do you think anime is good for you? And do you think pornography is good for you? And do you think video games is good for you? So it's like, okay, let's turn the nation into a monastery, right? Where everything that's bad for you is, right? It's a mentality that causes friction, right? Like you can't live in a society if you're constantly attacking others and like, what are you doing in your house? Are you watching any anime? I need to see. What are you doing? Like, do you think like what you're doing in your house doesn't affect me? Are you like one of those redditors that think that just because you're doing it doesn't affect me? It affects me. I need to see. Right? Like, okay, you can't live with people like that. And so you get Karens. And you get safetyism. And you get the welfare state. And then everything goes to shit. You don't get that in Eastern Europe, right? And you don't get that in other places. You get other problems. I'm not saying that Eastern Europe is perfect. But the main point is tradition. Like, tradition just doesn't exist in the West anymore. Anyway. Let's look through the rest of the super chats and then we can go back to Jeremy. My microphone is very quiet. Thank you for letting me know. I'm sorry about that. It's back. For being gay, you must have money and respect. For being gay, you must have money and respect. Right. We don't live in a society, though. We live in a cultural war zone. No. Listen. There's absolutely nothing stopping you from going into a neighborhood, like moving into a neighborhood that you like, making friends, and just, having your own family, and telling everyone else to fuck themselves, which is what I did. Like, it is possible to have, quote-unquote, the life. It's not easy, but it is possible. Alright, I fixed my microphone, I think. That's Calvinism for you. In the Orthodox Church, we don't have this mentality. We practically never had the Inquisition. It's kind of funny when you argue with a Redditor atheist, and they're like, oh, the church has boogered a lot of children, hasn't it? And I'm like, oh, not my church. Like, I'm Orthodox. But what about the witches? You guys burned witches. No, we didn't. No, we didn't. The only thing that people complain here about is that the church is corrupt. Like, it's taking too much cash. And I'm like, well, if that's the only complaint, that's fine, you know. I separate porn from everything else. Check early life of the pornographers. Well, then you watch Japanese porn, right? Like, if the early life of the pornographers disturbs you, support the Japanese industry and then you have competition. Or support the AI shit. The whole thing with the porn, and I'll tell you why it's a problem. You have an issue now with the birth rates. The birth rates are not caused because men are masturbating while women are like zombies scratching at their door, and it's like, date me, Chad, date me. And Chad goes, no, woman, I am watching the vile pornography made by the chosen people. You are beneath me. You fail to meet my standards, right? Like, let's be honest. That's not what's happening in society right now, okay? This is not why people aren't having children. The reason people aren't having children is because of the welfare state. Number one, and pretty much like the big reason. Because think about it, right? Your grandfather, if he was in Europe, if he was, well, actually your great-grandfather, even better. Your great-grandfather. Like, he was probably on a farm, and he knew that if he doesn't have children, he's going to starve to death when he's old. Like there's no one coming for him. There's no help. And so he needs to have a lot of kids in the hopes that one of them is going to bring him food. Nowadays, right? If you don't have kids, it's fine. Just get a good job. And if you get a good job, like, the government will pay for you. So it's not pornography. It's like simple common sense. Like, people are basically doing the math. They're crunching the numbers. And they're realizing, well, okay, but if I don't have kids, then I can actually make more money when I'm old, right? So that's what you get. You get the pension. You get the welfare state. And then there's other laws like the divorces, right? I didn't know that in America, apparently in a divorce, when you have like a child custody, like a part of the money that the man pays is taxed by the courts. I didn't know that. So there's a financial incentive to have divorces. But so why is it the pornography? Well, the lowering of birth rates isn't an extinction event. Despite the fact that a lot of right-wingers are trying to treat it like that, there were more people that died during the Black Death. There were more people that were dying during World War I and World War II, okay? No, it's not like an extinction event. It's an economic crisis. That's the main problem. Because, like, it's not a math equation. There's nothing stopping next generation from having more kids, right? Usually when people get poor, they have more kids. Like, poor people fuck more. If you look at the children issue, it's not in the cities. Sorry, it's not in the villages. It's not in the rural area. In the rural area, people have kids. It's in the cities where people don't have kids. Anyway, right. The main problem is that the welfare state becomes unsustainable, right? So, like, then they open the doors, they bring more immigrants. And what do the politicians do? Well, the politicians want some scapegoat. They want something easy to blame. And so it's like, oh, it's the pornography, right? Which, again, it's like a Western mental illness that's brand new. It doesn't come from anywhere else. Like, people in India don't believe it. People in Europe don't believe it. But, like, the Americans believe it. It's like pornography lowers birth rates. Again, the idea that, like, women are banging at the door. Chad, let me in. I want to have children with you, Chad. And Chad is like, no, woman. I'm watching the pornography with the chosen people. You are not like the woman on my screen, lady. You are not anything like her. You are beneath me. Like, Chad, but me and my 5 hot sisters, Chad. Like, we really want Chad. We want it. Like, no, woman. Not until you look like the lady on my screen. It's like, okay, let's, right, like, can we stop it with the mental illness? I'm not saying pornography is good, by the way. I'm just saying, okay, like, I'm not the other extreme. When I'm saying that if you navigate the internet, you should see, like, titties everywhere. Like it's 2010. No, right? Like, if I go to Steam, I don't want to see titties bouncing in my face. I do understand that there needs to be decorum, and I do understand that there needs to be a separation, right? And I don't want kids to see it. That's also a thing. But at the same time, to say, well, it is the greatest evil in our society, when you have, like, streets filled with methamphetamine, right? And there's also, like, a difference between being straight and having an addiction. Like, a guy that sees a woman with big tits and is like, oh my god, that is fucking hot. That is not a pervert, that is a heterosexual man. Right? Like, when I grew up, the expression Dad's Porn Magazine existed for a reason, because despite the fact that Dad was married, he did have the magazine. Most of the kids from my block had fathers with the magazine. It wasn't like something shocking, right? There were strip clubs and other things. But there's a difference between that and, like, being obsessed, as in, like, you need to spank the schnitzel 12 times a day. And you're unable to go to work, you're missing schedules, your entire room is filled with dakimakuras, and you have crusty socks everywhere, right? Like, that is not okay. Like, if you're at that level, no. Okay? Right. Now, can we understand? Because, like, for some reason, I've noticed that if someone says, oh, I like Stellar Blade, oh, the gooner, oh, goonerisms, oh, pervert, oh. It's like, what the fuck are you on about? It's like, it's a woman with a nice ass. Of course he's a man, he's going to like it. And then the definition of porn gets watered down to Melanie Mac levels and JDA mental illness. It's like anything that stimulates, anything that's titillating. Oh, an entire video game, it's got like a sexy scene in it. Pornography, that. It's like, dude, if you go to Booba, and Booba is this like massive black man, a prime example of his male species in a prison, and Booba goes, it's like, can you smuggle me some contraband, son? Can you give me like a nice magazine with that contraband? And you go, yes. and you bring Booba the stuff JDA calls porn, you're going to get your ass whooped. Because he's going to think that you're conning him. Because that's not pornography. Fucking 2B. I saw him like bitch about a 2B that had clothes on. What pornography? Like a woman with clothes on, by the very definition, is not pornographic. Unless it's his mother. But anyway, right. So, moving on. I don't even know how I got to this conversation. But it's something that's bothering me. And the reason that's bothering me is because politicians do not want to take responsibility. Like hiding behind the failures of the welfare state by blaming it on a low-hanging fruit. You know, kicking the can down the road until shit gets really bad, and then someone finally will have to pick it up. And also, seeing right-wingers advocate for censorship, right? Like going after anime and shit and video games, you know, supporting payment processors, collective shout, Ofcom. Seeing right-wingers supporting Ofcom, like, come on, that's a mental fucking illness right there. Should have your guns taken away with the transgenders like Trump wants. Seriously, right? Like, in what fucking world would a right-winger that has any common sense and critical thinking support Ofcom? Fucking Ofcom, right? Like the most leftist liberal government that the world has ever seen in my lifetime in a Western nation with Keir fucking Starmer promoting a legislation that doesn't just ban porn, it also bans hate speech, it also bans, what else? It talks about immigration, right? Fucks up the entire internet. And then I see right-wing liar, you know what? No, I support this. I fully support this. And now they're planning another thing, like even for adults, right? Like now that they got their foot in the door, they're saying, oh yeah, what about content that promotes self-harm? We want to ban it off the internet. And it's fucking insane. It's like, okay, why did you consent to this? Like, maybe you couldn't have stopped it, sure, but like, why would you say you like it? Fuck is wrong with you? Right-wingers invented Ofcom. Well, you know, I will give them that and point out that the Tories aren't right-wing. Like, Britain has two socialist parties, one with the mask on, one without, and they constantly, like, make musical chairs in deciding who gets to govern. But I'll give them that, fine. You know, the Tories aren't right-wing. From all I can tell from comments on Gooners online, all I can assume is that being a Gooner means simply taking joy in the virgin that some women are attractive and want to procreate. The Gooner thing is like this. There used to be an insult called virgin, right? And the idea is like you're a virgin because you're salivating at a woman's tits. Like you're supposed to look respectfully. Right? Like there wasn't a problem in watching a Lara Croft pinup. But don't comment on it, don't linger, don't salivate, because otherwise you're a virgin. That was the thing. Feminism comes along and says, no, actually virgin is a gender-based insult and you should stop using it. But the problem is, like, they still wanted to use something to shame men, and so they came up with the word incel, right? And incel became, like, the go-to to insulting any man, just like virgin used to be. And after that, for some reason, like, incel stopped being interesting. I think, like, when Andrew Tate became popular, they basically just dropped the word incel, and now they're bringing gooner, right? And it's like, gooner used to be like someone that, again, was like a complete pervert, their entire room filled with dakimakuras, their entire timeline filled with smut. But now it's like any man that says, yeah, I like to be's ass. Ah, you're a gooner. No, I'm straight. I got testosterone. I'm sorry for it, you know? In fact, I find it weird that you don't like to be's ass. I think you're a homosexual. Which is fine. I'm not saying, you know, I'm not judging. I'm like Charlie Kirk. He didn't mind homosexuals either. In the right-wing movement, not in the church. I don't care about the church. They can be whatever they want. But I'm just saying. Alright. So, let's watch the Quarterix video. Because, goddammit, I got sidetracked. And then we can talk about the other important things. Which is, the ideology of the shooter. Okay.
Every mainstream media person who spends every night 24 hours a day dehumanizing, making excuses for leftist violence, fired, gone, arrested, if able. I want streamers like Hassan Piker, Destiny. Hassan Piker in particular, who has encouraged violence on many, many occasions. Many. I want him removed from the...
See, that's the thing. I don't want them removed, though. I genuinely don't want them removed. Did you know how difficult it would be to tell my son why left-wing is a mental illness if I don't have Hassan Piker as an example? I'm not kidding. Like, I'm dead serious right now. Like imagine in a couple of years that you actually remove all of them. Like, I'll tell you what will happen, because like we notice what happens with the right. This is like, it's very difficult to have an intelligent argument when emotions are high, but like, hear me out. When the left started banning right-wingers, all of the intelligent design people, all of the crazy and fanatics, all of the gone. And the people that remained were well-spoken people, wearing suits like Carl, like Sargon, right? That all of a sudden are reasonable, well-spoken, and can articulate arguments. Meanwhile, the other side loses quality control. Because the other side doesn't police itself. And all of the unhinged people, all of the crazy, all of the grifters, they're where the power is. Like remember how many unhinged leftists were? Not because they were leftists and supporting the cause, but like they knew that that's where the power is and that's where they can make money. And so what happens is, like, in 4 or 5 years, if you do this, and you get rid of all the crazy and all the unhinged people, you don't get rid of all of them. They just adapt. They start using euphemisms. They start speaking more politely. They're starting to appeal to, you know, like common sense. They reframe their ideology a little bit. And it's going to be very difficult for me to tell my son why he should dislike the left. That's the problem, right? So no, I think I'm actually glad that Hassan doesn't get banned from Twitch. No, seriously, because like you can show, look at the hypocrisy. I can make videos on that theme. It's like, look at how unhinged Twitch is. Look at what they're supporting. Look how evil they are. It would be very difficult for me to do that without Hassan. And it's not like Hassan is going to go away, right? Because he's a big streamer. He starts streaming on Kick. Starts policing himself. Do you think like Hassan doesn't know? Of course he knows. That's why he does this shit. Do you think he can't control himself? Of course he can control himself. He controlled himself for years. And I think like he did a deal with Twitch behind the scenes. God knows what. But like, he knows that he's not getting banned, which is why he does it on purpose, knowing that he gets away with it. This is why he's actually scared right now. I've never seen Hassan scared before. But he is. Because Asmongold made a video calling him out. And he was never scared. Never. But now he is. Well, actually, he was scared one single time. When the Candyman wanted to come after his ass. Do you know how the Candyman wanted to grab his ass? Hold on, let me see if I can find it. let me look for some historical photos of the sack of Judea. And there's like a really nice Roman photo. Where you have like a Roman and you have like a citizen of Judea riding away and a Roman on a horse just wants to grab his ass. I'm trying to find that picture. Unfortunately, like there's so many pictures of the sack of Judea that I can't find the one that I want. But like basically, yeah, it's kind of like that. Like that was the Candyman going after Hassan. Just wanted to snatch him. Let me try Roman on a horse. Yeah, it's kind of difficult to find. I'll probably show it the next Roman on a horse picture grab. Man, it used to be like Google was this place where it was kind of like in your head. You wanted to search for something and it immediately found it. And now since they have like the AI fairness bullshit, you don't manage to get what you want to look for. Anyway, right. So Hassan Piker was never afraid. Like that was the only time that I saw him rattled. And now I see him rattled again for a different reason, by the way. It's because of the controversy, right? Because he doesn't know, like, oh shit, like, can I still say what I want to say? Like, does my deal still hold? It's kind of like a cloak. Yes, isn't Sam Hyde the Candyman? I think Sam Hyde is the candid man. Sometimes I make these mistakes. I don't follow these people, but like I get the controversy because like clips and sound bites.
The platform. That's right. I said it. I have changed. I am no longer a free speech absolutist. If that makes you mad at me, I understand. I really do. I
love how he is like still on the fence, even though like he's getting off the fence. Is like, okay, from now on, I want all these people banned, and I want all these university people fired, and I want Destiny and Hassan and Vosh. I want them banned. I want them gone. That's it. I said it. It's like the nuclear option. Oh, I said it. That's it. No more free absolution. But you know what? You know what, chat? You know what? If you don't like it, that's okay. You don't have to like it, chat. But like, oh, it's coming. Oh, bad Jeremy is here. You know, like this would have been edgy if you done it in 2020. But in 2025, if you say you're not a free speech absolute, no one gives a shit. It's kind of like the train already went. You know, like everyone ran that train, and you're coming from behind from the last wagon, pretending that the choo-choo just arrived into the station, Jeremy. No, like in fact, it's difficult to find the free speech absolutists today. I'm probably one of the most open-minded that are still clinging. You know, clinging with the torch here, hoping that 10 years from now, when someone wants to see the light, they're going to find me. You know, but all jokes aside, though, I don't think like there's any free speech absolutist left. Sargon isn't like Sargon. Ban. The Archcast isn't. The Archcast is actually one of the first with gatekeeping. Like I supported him with that endeavor. I was like, no, actually, gatekeeping is a good point. Grooms, right? Asmongold, all of us are against the concept because look, it's not about being better, right? Because like that was the thing. It's like you gotta be better than. It was never about being better. It's about not being humiliated, right? Like, and by being humiliated, what I mean is living in a place where you get to see your opponents asking for the most extremist shit imaginable, like completely unhinged extremist shit, and meanwhile you launch a video game. And everything you do is recorded. They're listening to everything. And if you do the speech of hate, if you do a banter, if you do some jokes, you get banned. You go on social media, share a meme, you get banned. You see like other people that are your friends, they're getting banned as well. You know, do you remember the great returning when Elon Musk came in and how many accounts came back, right? Like that's how many they banned. You go to your work and you find out that Carl from aisle 5 is summoned by HR because he said something on Twitter. And it's like, well, why do you have to live like this, right? And when finally the right is getting around and is like pushing back, it's like, oh, well, what about your moral? You destroyed them. The problem is, though, you know, it's kind of like Christianity in England. A lot of people from the Lotus Eaters are upset that Christianity is going away from England, and it was also Richard Dawkins also upset, right? Because like he was the Grandmaster architect, the one of the 4 riders of the apocalypse, they called it, and he was an atheist, right? And he was preaching for atheism, but like he's like, hey, you know what? Like Christianity wasn't so bad because like people weren't criminals if they thought God is watching, right? Like there are some people that think that there's a CCTV camera from heaven on them all the time, and they're less likely to commit crime if that's the case. And I like the Christmas carols, and I like the stuff, and I don't like Islam, and and it's like, okay, fine, right? But like Sargon is upset churches are being sold to mosques, right? Like he's upset, and it's like, okay, fine, no, I get the point, right? But if no one goes there, like, how do you want to have churches? If, like, people genuinely don't go to mass, who pays for the building? And that happened in Romania. Do you know what would happen in Romania if, like, a church was going to be sold and turned into a mosque? Christians from across the nation would donate money to that church. You would have buses of people traveling, like, 2 or 3 cities just to go to that church to make sure that it doesn't close down. If you don't have that, the churches go away, right? They're not eternal, right? Like, it's still part of the economy. Like, the roof collapses with time. Someone has to repair it or the building gets defunct. And so, anyway, right? What I'm trying to say is the same with free speech. If you don't have people advocating for it, if both sides don't believe that it's important, you end up with Britain. You end up with safetyism. You end up with the government having monopoly on censorship. That's what you get. And that's where we're going. I don't know how to stop it. All I know is that what I personally believe and what I will personally do. But I can't stop the change, and I understand the change. Like, that's what pisses me off, because it's not like a change out of malice or a change. No, like, it's human nature. You can't humiliate a group of people using their own values against them for 2 decades and not expect that someone is going to chimp out. This is where we are right now. You know, they shot the guy that just wanted to talk. And then they get the right-wing cancel culture. Love my choice of music? I don't have music. Got nothing. Only rants and screams and shouts. Imagine subjecting your son to a Hassan Piker video. Well, absolutely. Every time he's naughty, every time he's late for school, every time he's going to get an F, I'm going to force him to watch the... What does he call him? The bromancer? Right? He's going to have to watch Hassan Piker. Son, you've been naughty today. You upset mother. Go watch a Hassan Piker video. No, Daddy, no, that's cruel. I don't care. Government can't stop me. Government says I'm not allowed to inflict corporal punishment on you. It doesn't say anything about psychological torture. Go watch Hassan Piker video. Same as the churches got often times built on pagan temples. Yeah, exactly. Well, the main problem there was that the state, right, like the Roman government, basically said that paganism is outlawed. So that's a little bit different. That's not the same. But yeah, I get what you're saying. The professor, yeah, the professor. What if he ends up like Hassan Piker? Then I would consider myself a failure as a father. Frog Jupiter, thank you for the $5. John De La Rose seems to be more modern feminized church described by a secular age by Charles Taylor, a Christian historian, explained why. You're looking too deep. You're looking too deep. I will explain John De La Rose to you in a second, right? The West secularized Christianity used to be a masculine religion where the greatest sin was pride rather than sexual ones. It changed in the 1700s. Yeah. No, I'm not denying that, right? What I am saying is that I can explain John De La Rose to you in a second. So I'm looking at John De La Rose, right? Like, how do I meet him? Because I didn't know who the fuck he is. John De La Rose, I met him when Melanie Mac started spurging out about some gacha game. Like, there was a girl shaking her ass, doing like, she was fully clothed, right? You had this fully clothed woman, and she was just doing a dance. And Melanie Mac is like, oh my goodness, demonic, sinful. Oh, what type of man? What type of man would look at her ass? Look at my 7 chokers instead. Look at my cleavage. Look at my tattoos, but don't look at that. And you know, it's like, what the fuck is that? Right? Because I'm looking, Jesus. And John De La Rose all of a sudden appeared, yeah, ban pornography. Pornography needs to be banned. And I'm like, well, my brother in Christ, that's not even porn. What the fuck? It's fully clothed. There's no, right? And then I do research into him because I was like, wow, such a pious man. He's so happy. He lives such a fulfilling life. I want to copy his model. I want to go to my wife and it's like, look, there's this guy I met on the internet, John De La Rose. He found Jesus. He has a fulfilling life, stable family, makes a lot of money. I want to be like him. I want to be religious like John De La Rose. I'm looking. Do you know what I find, chat? Do you know what I find? On his timeline, chat. On his fucking time. There it was. Furry pornography. Now, not just any furry pornography. Furry pornography of the homosexual variety. And I'm like, goodness gracious, is this what makes someone a Christian, huh? Like, did he see that? And that's how he found Jesus? Up Lucario's butthole? And then I keep looking and I see, oh, holy shit. He actually made a not safe for work comic? He made a not safe for work comic? Oh my goodness, Johnny boy. Johnny, what's going on? And then I looked at another one of his comics, which was even more lewd than the video game he was complaining, right? And so I'm starting to think, what if, and I know this is a Hail Mary, but hear me out, what if he's not an actual Christian, but he's just grifting? What if, like the man actually writes for a media outlet and just wants eyeballs on the shit he writes. And so he does rage baiting and he will post the most inflammatory shit in order to get clicks. How about that? Do you think that fits? Don't believe me? Look at his posts. Every single thing he posts is inflammatory. Every single thing he says is meant to upset people, enrage people, so they comment and interact with his stuff. And then he plugs in his website. Huh? Is that like better than being, it's like, oh, well, it's Christianity, and then you have to go, it's like 1,700, pride was the sin. Yeah, sure, okay, fine. But like, I don't think, like how many people John De La Rose do you think converted to Jesus over the internet? Like, is this even a thing, right? Like now we convert people from other nations into our religion, into our brand of heresy by using the internet, right? No. You convert people into clicks and you use the algorithm in order to promote yourself. That's what I think, right? And so that's my analysis of him. Not of all Christians on Twitter, but at least him. Like, I have different analysis for different Christians. Some of them are legit, by the way. Like, I have subscribers that are Christians that I respect. Because I genuinely believe that they're Christians. Like, let me give you an example. Razor Fist, okay? Razor Fist has other problems. But at least I unironically believe that, yeah, okay, no, Razor Fist is a Christian. Sure. Like, Razor Fist probably goes to church. So when he talks about God, I don't mock his faith because I know it's legit. When John De La Rose talks about God, I say, well, John, your comic books may be dead, but they're in a better place now. They're not next to you. For those of you who don't know, his comic books apparently got flooded. Like a water pipe broke, like in Maricopa County, but it happened in his bedroom. And his comic book collection got banned. Right? Like, Jesus probably fulfilled his wish. Ban pornography. Jesus looked at that smut and said, like, I would never read something like that. John, let me help you out. And now the comic books are in heaven. And so, or in hell, I don't know. Probably in heaven, though, right? Because, so, yeah, I make fun of him. But I wouldn't make fun of Razor Fist. That's my thing. It's my personal moral compass. It's, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't get the Razor Fist from a different angle, right? Razor Fist, the reason I don't get him, but, well, I mean, I kind of do, because, like, people change. But he starts his channel being insanely edgy, right? Like, promotes heavy metal music, talks about, what was it, Duke Nukem, and there was, like, a game called Capture the Babe, and you capture the woman, and you see her plump ass on your shoulder, and you can smack her ass in order to quiet her down as you're taking her over to the flag, right? You start your channel like that, and you're edgy and over the top, and then you're like, oh yeah, well, we need to ban pornography, and we need to make sure that art and entertainment is sanitized. It just doesn't click, Like, you can... Starting to moralize over the internet after you build a channel based around edginess and over-the-top shenanigans and, being all about tits and violence... And now, like, well, actually, it's not a Christian thing to do. It's like, okay, fine, I get it. You changed as a person. But I, as a subscriber, don't resonate with what I've subscribed on. Yeah, the 90s was definitely wild and great. Isn't that the guy that was simping for Melody Mac? Yeah. I'm not going to say he was simping. I think what they saw, and I kind of understand what happened, probably, and I'm being very charitable here. Is the fact that Melody Mac used to be a leftist, right? Like a social justice activist, and she had some bad things happen in her life. I think like her husband came out being gay, right? So I want you to imagine that, right? Like how would you feel if your wife ended up being a lesbian? Like, you'd probably think that you pushed her on the wrong side, right? Like you pushed her for the wrong team. Because it's like one thing to find out that it's one thing to find out that you're getting a divorce, like your wife found another man, but it's a completely different thing. It's like, no, listen, right? Like, you're going to stay like, holy shit, like how bad am I in bed, like what is going on? Anyway, right, this is what I've heard. I don't know if it's true or not, right? Like, you need to fact check it with her. But basically, you have, like, this lady, which all of a sudden she's in emotional turmoil. Like, no one would blame her. Any person in her situation would be the same. And she finds solace in Jesus. And I think Razorfist like thought, okay, this is a genuine convert. Like I can genuinely save this person. And so like when she's going, ban this, ban that, and she has the zeal of the convert, that's probably when he's like, okay, well, maybe, you know, I'll be on her side to show her that she's not alone. That's my take, and I'm being extremely charitable, okay? Most women have a lesbian tendency. No, look, I'm just trying to replicate, like, how it's like, okay? Anyway, I know he dislikes porn, etc., but does he promote an actual ban? Well, Melanie does, right? And so, JDA does. So, like, when you're coming out and you're supporting those people without making a claim, it's like, look, I support them, but no. Anyway, let's talk about the shooter. Do we have time? Why did I have so much fun talking about other topics instead of talking about what was important? So, we got the Democrats basically saying, sorry, not the Democrats, Occupy Democrats. Aren't these like an NGO that's kind of like a Democrat PR campaign, right? Like they're basically wanting to retweet and spread the truth. And they're like, look, the shooter, Tyler Robinson, apparently his entire family was MAGA, blah, 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 blah. Here's my take. I'm not even going to look. I'm going to assume, you know what? Fine. He was. Let's assume this, right? Like, hypothetically. Okay? Let's see if I can deconstruct that argument, even if he was. Voted for Trump personally. You know, it doesn't matter. Why doesn't it matter? Because if the left was quiet, and after the assassination, they would do what Trump did, and they would have said, you know what? That's horrible what happened. It's horrible. Like Charlie Kirk, I disagreed with it, didn't deserve this, right? If the left did that, this would have been a win if it was true, right? This comes out, big win for the left, ideologically, culturally, I mean, right? Because at the end of the day, a person died, there is no winning here. But like, if you're a cynical individual, you know, like this person working for the Democrats and all you care about is polling and ratings and what do people think, big win for you. If your side acted like that, okay? Charlie Kirk passed away, you see Vosh, you see Hassan, you see Destiny, you see everyone on Reddit, people on Blue Sky. Horrible. Big try. I hope they catch the son of a bitch. That's literally all they had to say, right? Instead, what we see is people with their public faces on. Teachers, content creators, people from the mainstream media, people from the university, all of these having the most unhinged extremist takes. Not just like being happy, but saying, I'm glad that it happened. And it's a good thing that it happened. And in fact, it should happen more. And they even made lists. They put Matt Walsh on a list. Like I saw it. It's like the whole Blue Sky thing. Blizzard had their developers unhinged in public. Okay? And so, it doesn't matter. Like Charlie Kirk could have died in an industrial accident for all I care, or an act of God. If you behave like this, what you're basically saying is that we don't want to debate. We're not interested in talking. In fact, if you talk, maybe you should die. And that's what they're pushing. And so, everyone became Charlie Kirk that day in the sense that they just shot the moderate right. Right? The moderate right died with Charlie Kirk. And so what do they get instead? Well, there's no more words, right? So like if we can't communicate, why should I spend money for your company? If your company hires leftists, why should I give you my money so that I can fund people that want me dead? Why should any right-winger in a position of power ever promote a leftist again? Or work for a leftist, or work with the leftist, or give something to a leftist, right? Because like there's no more talking. There's no more negotiation anymore. Like they made it clear. That's what people saw. This is not what I'm saying, you know, because like I can't manipulate people. I can't get people to do anything. I'm just observing the culture, and I'm explaining, you know, like why this thing generally doesn't matter. Now, I saw what the left was doing as well, you know, like the first thing that they did when Charlie Kirk passed away, literally the next second, they went through Charlie Kirk's history, through everything that the man uploaded, everything that, and then they started taking clips and sound bites out of context in order to say, oh, this is not a good man. Look what he said. Look what he did. They were panicking. when that didn't work, they said, "Oh, it was just a lone wolf. It's just a lone wolf. You can't pin a lone wolf on an entire ideology." Except that everyone who went on Reddit and went on Blue Sky immediately realized, "Oh shit, it's not just a lone wolf. It's a bunch of psychopaths." And then they said, you can't blame a guy on an ideology, but now that they think he's right-wing, well, it's actually right-wingers that always do political assassination. They always do all the violence and blah, 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 blah. Literally, from one day to the next, based on what's in the headline. Yeah, it was stochastic terrorism. Stochastic terrorism, a word they stopped using, right? When's the last time you heard the media use the word stochastic terrorism? They use it all the time. All the time, like during the apocalypse and during the grand censorship and during COVID. Like, stochastic terrorism was used in every headline. It stopped being used when Trump got shot at. And that's when the word died. I saw 1.7 million likes on a TikTok video about Charlie saying a fetus shouldn't be aborted. And the guy revealed it was a dolphin fetus. Look, again, Americans with their extremist takes is something predominantly to their culture. I'm not judging. I'm just saying, like, it doesn't have to be this way. You don't have to live like this. In Europe, we don't have talks about abortions. Like, in Europe, we settle discussions about abortion. No one brings it up. Why? Because we're reasonable. In Europe, you can have an abortion within the first 6 weeks, right? After that, gone. And most people seem to live with it. In America, you can have an abortion. Like, there were cases where Democrats were pushing literally 30 minutes before the convulsions start. And that's a little bit unhinged and crazy. And you have, like, pictures on TikTok where you have, like, people that would show before and after pictures celebrating and drinking wine. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? And on the other hand, you have Charlie Kirk, right? And Charlie Kirk has a take, and he says, well, if my daughter was raped, I wouldn't allow her to get an abortion. Now, that's his take, you know, fine. But, like, would you want to live like that? Like, what if imagine you're a woman, right? Just imagine for a second, you're a woman, okay? And you get raped. You get a guy fucking you in the ass, and then you have a baby. And every time you see that baby, you remember you got fucked in the ass. And the baby can also become like someone that gets fucked in the ass. You know? It's just... I mean, surely, like, even I'm willing to bet if you poll the Americans, if you poll the majority of citizens in America, they will fall in the middle. Right? That they're not going to say it's normal to have an abortion one day before the contractions. They're not going to say it's normal to go on TikTok and say, oh, look, it's so great. I used to have a before and after picture. And yeah, I took it out. Right? They're going to say that is mental and unhinged. And they're also going to look at the opinion that Charlie Kirk said, which, by the way, I'm not against him having the opinion. Like, it's fine to have the opinion. But to have a society that's running based on that opinion, most people would also say, oh, come on, that's ridiculous. Adoption is the thing? No, it's not. Dude, you first of all, technology has actually made it so adoption stops being a thing. Everyone now is with the surrogate mother thing, right? Like, ever since technology advanced and you're able to make your baby in vitro, adoptions have dropped dramatically. Secondly, most people don't even adopt anymore. You don't want kids. Like, and again, it is what it is. Look, I'm not enforcing my views on other, but I'm saying that if you were to go in America right now and you make a poll, the overwhelming majority of people will be somewhere in the middle. Like, they will not say, oh yeah, it's normal to have an abortion at 7 months. And they will also say, yeah, there are some cases, like, for instance, rape, right? Like, give that one. Like, put it on the fucking table, all right? Like, just give that one. Give that one for free. Like, see, this is another thing that I noticed a lot of ideologues don't want. It's like, if you were to reduce abortions from where they are now to the point where it's just, okay, you give away rape, but like everything else is bad. It's like, come on, do a little bit of effort. Give that one. Just put it there, you know, like, trust me. Like, you're going to ban it long term, and you're going to save more people than if you don't, right? It is what it is. Just put it on the table. What happens to the orphans? Well, they grow up in an orphan house, right? By the age of 18, and then they're thrown off the streets. Is that true, or am I making it up? Well, teabaggings. Okay, let's analyze this from your perspective. Like, this is something else. I don't understand, like, why everyone needs a doctor in a lab coat and they can't do critical thinking and they can't look at things that make common sense, right? Imagine you can't have a kid, right? And imagine the year is 1,850, right? And you and your wife find out that you're unfertile, you can't have a kid. What do? Well, you can adopt, right? That's it. That's your only option if you want a kid. You adopt. Now it's 2025, same situation. What do? You go to a lab and you have a surrogate mother to carry your baby, and then you have it. You have your kid. Hey, or you can also adopt. But like, my question is like, what would you prefer? Would you adopt, or would you have it that way and it's your kid? Get a new wife? What if you're the problem? And that's also another thing. Like, what if you actually like the wife? What if you actually found the woman that you love and you can't have a baby because of natural reasons? Like, she didn't do anything wrong. She just can't have one. The West is 100% social. Next 50 years old to learn, probably. Did the lab make the woman? It's rather funny that wasn't the case here in the States 10 to 15 years ago. The technology wasn't really that... I mean, it existed, but it was very expensive. Like, it's becoming a lot more cheaper now. And more standardized. To the point where you have, like, gay people there. Because that's another thing. See, this is how I got tricked in supporting adoption for gay people. Because I'm still, you know... I'm still very permissive. Look, I know a lot of people hate me for it, but I don't care about gay marriage. I literally don't give a shit. It's like, my marriage isn't affected because other people can marry, right? Like, for me, marriage is between me and my wife. And I always had it. I always took advantage of it. I don't care about, like, the grand tapestry of society. If I can get married, everyone else can go fuck themselves, right? So, I was never against gay marriage, but the concept came about gay adoption. Now, I actually know how an orphanage looks like, and I was like, look, if I was to be born again now, like, if I get isekai'd, and I have to choose between living in an orphanage or living with a gay couple, I would probably choose the gay couple. Yes, I know everything. I know what it means. I know all of that. But I also know what an orphanage is like. Alright? Especially in 2025. And so, I would choose the gay couple. And that's why, like, okay, adoption for gay people, sure, fine, whatever. But then I find out that they don't take it from the orphanage. What they do is they use, like, the surrogate mother method. And I'm like, well, you snuck up on me. You snuck that one up on me. No. In fact, I think, like, the whole thing with the surrogate mother should be abolished. It is awful. Awful for the woman. Because, okay, so for those of you who don't know what it is, in case there are such people. You take, like, let's say the man can't, let's say that the woman has, like, some congenital issue and she can't produce babies. So, like, what happens is the man ejaculates, the doctor takes a sperm cell, they take from the woman an egg, and then they make an embryo, and they inject it in another woman, right? So it's not her child, it's the embryo made from another couple. And then that third woman, like, she grows the baby, and she usually gets paid for this. She gets paid quite a bit. I think, like, it's above minimum wage, actually. It's probably like $20,000 or so. And she gets paid to basically, like, cook the baby until the pregnancy happens, right? Now, even though she's okay with it, and even though she signs a consent form, the problem is that emotionally, and also hormonally, right? Like, the hormones in the body is telling her that it is her baby, even though it's not, right? It's not from her eggs. It's not a sperm cell that she had. It's like someone else's baby. But her body is telling her that it is hers. And when they take it out, she feels as if she lost the baby. So massive depression, massive problems over there. it is abhorrent in my opinion. If they ever make like the artificial womb, this whole awful industry is going to go away. Um, the Indian girl gets 10,000. Yeah. No. I think like artificial wombs are going to be a thing, and I think it's a good thing. Cause like again, imagine that you marry a woman and you absolutely love her and she's a nice person, but like she just can't have kids, right? And so if she can't have kids, then what do? Well, you take the artificial womb, right? So unfortunately, though, as far as I know, people will abuse it. Like, there's going to be women that will say, no, I don't want to carry a pregnancy. Let's do the artificial womb thing. So, like, even though they're healthy, even though everything works, they're still going to opt for the artificial womb. Which is going to fuck up the human species. Like, for those of you that don't know, C-sex already fuck up the human species. Apparently, the number of women that can't give birth naturally is in the rise. Why? Because of C-sex. Now, the reason for this is evolutionary in nature, right? So, when a woman can't give birth naturally, she dies. Like, this is how it was for thousands of years, right? But we consider that cruel and unjust, and we solve that with C-sex. Which means that the woman who can't give birth naturally passes on her genes, and then the children are also likely to not be able to give birth naturally. And their children's children, and so on and so forth. So, like, the number of people that... Now, this is just, like, one thing with the C-sex. I'm not saying it's a problem or not, like, okay, eventually maybe everyone gives birth with C-sex. The problem is, though, like, if you do that for artificial wombs, we don't know what the end result is going to be, right? Like, you may end up in a situation where you have, like, human women that literally can't be pregnant at all. Evolution doesn't discriminate, right? Anyway, 20k for the baby here. We got 40k per baby. Jesus fucking Christ. Bigger heads, bigger brains. It's not necessarily that the head is bigger, right? It's also that the pelvis is smaller. That applies to women that never had the C-sec? No. No, because if the woman didn't have a C-sec, that means that she can give birth, right? And so, her children are also most likely to give birth naturally. But if you have a woman that can't give birth, like, let's say her pelvis is too small, right? Now, when you do a C-sec, if you don't do a C-sec, she dies. That's it. Like, she never has children. She never passes on the genes. But if you do have C-sec, then her children are also likely to have small pelvises and not be able to give birth naturally, so they will also require a C-sec. Do you see where it goes, right? Like, you're introducing in the population a higher number of people that can't give birth naturally. This is neither good nor bad, right? Like, for the medical industry, it's pretty good. C-sec, it's very easy to do. But if you do it with artificial wombs, I don't know what the end result is going to be. We keep hearing that birth control pills are an issue. I don't know if they're an issue. Only if they increase the size of the head of the baby. Maybe. That would make, like someone said, it would make them smarter. Not necessarily, but I see what you're meaning. There's a lot of, like, misconceptions about a lot of medicine. And it's annoying because, like, some of them are true. Like, for instance, birth control. Well, all the Romanian women from my med school, like, know to stay away from birth control. Like, this was duh. But not for the reason that the Americans think. Like, none of the thing, it's like, oh, she's pissing in the water and then people drink it and it makes men gay. No, the thing is, the birth control pill, it gives radical mood swings. Sometimes it changes the personality. Like, I actually seen that happen. A girl is on the pills, she gets attracted to a guy, and then she stops taking the pills and she absolutely hates her boyfriend, and they break up. And it's almost like, from my experience, I don't know if this is true or not, but, like, again, personal experience, women on the pill, they cling to things more, they're more aggressive on certain issue, like, they make, like, tiny things seem really big, even though it's like, they're very moody, they're very emotional, it's like they're constantly on a period. Anyway, that's my speculation. But what I do know, and this is actual fact, increase in obesity, increase in blood clots, so they can have strokes at an early age, right? They end up with knee pains in their joints because, like, the obese body is pressing on them, and All the weight goes into the knees, and so you get that. Yeah, blood clots and stuff. It changes their olfactory responses. I don't know. I never took it. Like guys on steroids, similar mechanism, but not exactly the same, yeah. Which pill though? From what I learned at med school, it was like almost all of them. Now, maybe when after I graduated and until now, they made other pills, but yeah. Like for instance, I used to give I used to give it to my cat, and then I found out that I shouldn't because like it increases the risk of cancer. It's like, okay. Female cats, they go in heat, and when they go in heat, they're very annoying. Like they scream a lot, right? Like they have like the howling, they're looking for a mate, right? And they rob themselves, and it's like it is what it is. But one way to fix it is to give them the pill, right? And you give them the pill, and they go they take a nap, and then they wake up and they're fine. You do that, they get cancer. Anyway, right. Yowling. Yeah, that's the thing. Anyway, right. Chat, I thank you for being here. Set up your clock if you want for tomorrow. Same time like we started today. So 1 hour and 30 minutes before now. If you set up your alarm clock to 1 hour and 30 minutes before now, I will be streaming. Right, so I'll be streaming tomorrow. It's Monday. Yes, I'll be here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the viewership. And I'll see you guys later.